So the story of the Chupacabra, or goatsucker, didn't actually begin in ancient times. It's really a modern legend. Its tale started back in the mid-1990s on the island of Puerto Rico. In 1995, a strange series of animal deaths began to worry farmers. Sheep, goats, and other farm animals were being found dead. And these animals weren't eaten in the usual way. Instead, they had these really strange puncture wounds on their necks. Their bodies were often drained of blood. People were just scared and confused. They honestly didn't know what kind of predator could do such a thing. Local newspapers and television stations began to report on these mysterious events, spreading the story far and wide across the island. The fear was real, and it needed a name. Soon the mysterious attacker was given a name, El Chupacabras. The name literally means the goatsucker in Spanish. It perfectly described what people thought was happening. The term was reportedly coined by a Puerto Rican comedian and entertainer named Silverio Perez. He used it on his radio show, and well, the name stuck immediately. It was catchy, scary, and easy to remember. The Chupacabra became a boogeyman for the modern age. It represented the unknown fear that was stalking the countryside. Everyone started talking about the goatsucker. The legend grew with every new animal death and every whispered story told between neighbors. The initial wave of panic in Puerto Rico was intense. Farmers armed themselves to protect their livestock. Some people were afraid to go out at night. The media coverage was relentless, feeding the growing hysteria. Every dead chicken or goat was now a potential victim of the Chupacabra. The story had all the elements of a classic monster tale. It involved mysterious deaths, an unknown creature, and a growing sense of community fear. The island was captivated by the mystery. Was it a new species, an alien experiment, a government secret? No one knew for sure, which only made the legend more powerful and compelling for everyone involved. This period in 1995 laid the foundation for everything that would follow. The Chupacabra was born not from a single sighting, but from a collective anxiety. The evidence was the dead animals, and the explanation was a monster. This was the perfect start for a legend. It was simple, scary, and left much to the imagination. The mystery of the blood-drained livestock in Puerto Rico was the spark. This spark would soon ignite a fire of belief that would spread far beyond the shores of its island home. The world was about to meet the Chupacabra, and it would never be quite the same again. The first eyewitness account of the Chupacabra creature itself came from a woman named Madeline Tolentino in Canovanas, Puerto Rico. Her description would become the classic image of the monster. She claimed to see a creature that was truly terrifying. She said it was about 3 to 4 feet tall. It had large glowing red eyes that seemed to stare right through her. The creature had long, thin arms and legs with 3-fingered claws. Perhaps its most distinct feature was a row of sharp spines running down its back. Tolentino said it moved by hopping, like a kangaroo. This bizarre, alien-like description captured the public's imagination and became the dominant image of the Puerto Rican Chupacabra for years. However, it's important to know where this specific description came from. When I investigated the legend for my book, Tracking the Chupacabra, I discovered something interesting. Madeline Tolentino had seen the science fiction horror movie Species just a few weeks before her sighting. The alien in that movie, named Sil, shared many features with her description of the Chupacabra. The alien had spines on its back, long limbs, and a similar body shape. It seems very likely that the creature from the movie influenced her memory of what she saw. Her mind may have filled in the gaps of a confusing sight with images from the film. This is a common way that new monster descriptions are created. As the legend grew, so did the number of different descriptions. The Chupacabra was not just one creature, it became many. Some people stuck with the alien-like bipedal monster with spines. Others described something more like a large winged bat or a strange demonic dog. This variation is typical of folklore. As a story is passed from person to person, details change. People add their own fears and interpretations. The monster becomes a reflection of what scares them the most. A person afraid of aliens might see a creature from another world. A person more grounded in earthly fears might see a monstrous dog. The Chupacabra's appearance was flexible, which helped it to survive and adapt. This flexibility allowed the legend to travel. If the description had been too specific, it might have stayed only in Puerto Rico. But because the Chupacabra could look like many things, it could appear anywhere. The original, spiny, bipedal creature was the first version. Later, as we will see, a completely different type of Chupacabra would emerge in places like Texas. This transformation is key to understanding the legend. The Chupacabra is not a single stable entity. It is a fluid and evolving story, a monster with 1,000 faces, each one shaped by the person who claims to have seen it and the culture they live in. While the Chupacabra name was born in 1995, the idea of blood-sucking monsters is not new at all. Many cultures throughout history have had stories about creatures that prey on livestock and people by draining their blood. In European folklore, the most famous example is the vampire. Vampires were undead beings who sustained themselves by drinking the blood of the living. These stories were a way for people to explain sudden deaths and mysterious illnesses long before they understood diseases. The idea of a creature leaving behind a drained corpse is a powerful and ancient fear that has been part of human storytelling for centuries. The Chupacabra taps directly into this deep-seated horror. In Latin America itself, there are many older legends that share similarities with the Chupacabra story. For example, there is the tale of the Mocha vampire, which also comes from Puerto Rico. This story dates back to the 1970s and involved mysterious cattle mutilations in the town of Mocha. Farmers found their animals dead with strange puncture marks, and rumors of a vampire-like creature spread. This earlier event shows that the fear of a mysterious animal predator was already present on the island long before 1995. The Chupacabra did not appear out of nowhere. It followed a pattern of belief that was already established in the local culture. Other folkloric beings from the region also contributed to the Chupacabra's DNA. In Chile, there is a legendary creature called the Puchen, a shape-shifting winged snake that is said to suck the blood of sheep. In Brazil, a creature known as the Capelobo is described as a monster with a dog's body and an anteater's head that also attacks animals. These older myths provided a cultural framework for the Chupacabra. When people in these countries heard about the new monster from Puerto Rico, it sounded familiar. It was easy to adopt the Chupacabra name for their own local monster stories, or to blend the new legend with their old ones. The Chupacabra, then, can be seen as a modern update to these ancient fears. It combines the classic vampire motif with modern anxieties about aliens, government conspiracies, and scientific experiments. The name was new, and the specific description given by Madeline Tolentino was new. But the core idea, a monster that secretly attacks at night and drains the life from its victims, is as old as storytelling itself. The Chupacabra is a powerful legend precisely because it feels both new and ancient at the same time. It is a new bottle for a very old and potent wine of fear. The Chupacabra story didn't stay in Puerto Rico for long. Thanks to the internet, which was becoming more common in the mid-1990s, and Spanish TV channels, the story spread really fast. Soon, reports of similar animal attacks and monster sightings started popping up all over Latin America. The story first jumped to Mexico, where it found a good home. In the late 1990s, Mexican farmers also started saying their animals were being killed in a strange way. The news quickly picked up the story, and the Chupacabra became super famous across the country. The monster was a perfect fit for a country with lots of old stories and legends. As the story moved to new countries, it started to change. The Chupacabra changed to fit its new places. In Mexico, the descriptions often mixed with local beliefs. Some reports still talked about the alien-like creature from Puerto Rico, but others said it looked more like a demon or a dog. The political situation in Mexico at the time also played a part. Some people thought the Chupacabra was a trick made by the government to take attention away from money problems and political scandals. The monster became a sign of not trusting the government. It was more than just a creature. For some, it was a political statement. The story kept traveling south, reaching countries like Chile and Argentina. In Chile, the story mixed with an older legend called the Peuchen. People started calling their local blood-sucking monster the Chupacabra. The name was new and exciting, and it connected their local stories to a worldwide event. In Argentina, the legend became more about the countryside, often being blamed for cows being hurt on the big open fields. In each place, the Chupacabra story was told again with local details and local fears. It was no longer just a monster from Puerto Rico. It had become a legend for all of Latin America, a shared piece of modern folklore. This spread and change is what makes the Chupacabra so interesting. It shows how a new legend can travel and grow in our world of global talking. The main parts, strange animal deaths and a blood-sucking animal, stayed the same. But the details of what the creature looked like and what the legend meant changed from place to place. The Chupacabra became like a mirror, showing the worries, beliefs, and cultural traditions of each new community it entered. Its journey shows that old stories don't just sit still. They are living, breathing things that change with the people who hear them. Belief in the Chupacabra is not just about a scary monster. It's, deeply connected to social and psychological factors. One of the main reasons people believe is honestly, simple fear of the unknown. When something strange and frightening happens, like, say, finding livestock dead under mysterious circumstances, the human brain really wants an explanation. A monster is often a more satisfying answer than just saying, "I don't know." The Chupacabra gives a name and a face to a nameless fear. It turns a chaotic and confusing event into a story with a clear villain. This helps people, make sense of a world that can sometimes feel random and dangerous. Social and political distrust also play a huge role. As we saw in Mexico, the Chupacabra legend often thrives in places where people do not trust their government or official sources of information. When authorities say, "Don't worry, it was just a pack of wild dogs," some people might hear, "We are hiding the truth from you." The Chupacabra becomes a symbol of a suspected cover-up. Believing in the monster can actually be a way of expressing opposition to the establishment. It can be a way of saying that the official explanations just aren't good enough, and that something more sinister is going on, whether it involves secret government experiments or, visitors from another planet. The legend also helps to build a sense of community. When a town or village is attacked by a Chupacabra, it brings people together. They share stories, form watch groups, and comfort one another. The monster becomes a common enemy that unites them. Telling and retelling the story of the Chupacabra reinforces social bonds. It becomes a shared cultural experience, a local piece of identity. We are the people who survived the Chupacabra attacks. This shared narrative is a powerful force that keeps the legend alive, even when there's no physical evidence to support it. The story itself becomes the most important thing. Finally, we have a basic human need for wonder and mystery. In a world that's increasingly explained by science, there's just less room for magic and monsters. The Chupacabra offers a glimpse into a world that's more exciting and mysterious than our everyday lives. The idea that a strange, undiscovered creature could still be hiding in the shadows is, honestly, thrilling. It adds a layer of excitement to the world. For some, believing in the Chupacabra is not so different from enjoying a good scary movie. It's a way to experience fear and wonder in a way that feels real, connecting them to a larger, more mysterious universe. As the Chupacabra legend spread from Puerto Rico, a new type of sighting began to emerge, especially in the southwestern United States, like Texas. This so-called Texas Chupacabra looked very different from the original bipedal monster. It was a four-legged creature, usually described as a strange, hairless, dog-like animal. It had leathery gray skin, a pronounced spine, large fangs, and a gaunt appearance. Several of these creatures were found dead or were killed by ranchers who believed they were the famous goatsucker. These carcasses provided something the original legend never had: a physical body that could finally be examined by scientists. One of the most famous cases occurred in 2007 near Cuero, Texas. A rancher named Phyllis Canyon found a strange hairless animal dead on her property. She was convinced it was a chupacabra. She had the head of the creature preserved and sent DNA samples for testing. The story received massive media attention. News crews from all over the world came to her ranch. The Cuero Chupacabra became the new face of the legend. It was no longer an alien-like being that hopped away into the night. It was a real physical specimen that you could see and touch. This seemed like the definitive proof that believers had been waiting for. However, when the scientific results came back, the reality was much less monstrous. DNA testing on the Cuero creature and on nearly every other Texas Chupacabra carcass found revealed a very simple explanation. These animals were not mysterious monsters. They were coyotes. In some cases, they were dogs or even raccoons. The reason they looked so strange and terrifying was that they were suffering from a severe case of sarcoptic mange. This is a skin disease caused by mites that makes an animal lose its fur. It also causes the skin to become thick, leathery and wrinkled, and it can make the animal very weak and sick. The mange explains all the strange features. The lack of fur makes the animal's natural bone structure, like its spine and ribs, appear more prominent. The sickness makes them weak, so they are more likely to attack easy prey like chickens and goats instead of their usual food. They look like monsters, but they are just sick, ordinary animals. Every single time a supposed chupacabra body has been tested by scientists, the result has been the same. A common animal, almost always a coyote, with a very bad case of mange. There has never been any evidence of a new, undiscovered species. The monster was simply a sick coyote, transformed by disease and fear. From a scientific perspective, the Chupacabra legend can be broken down into three main components: the animal mutilations, the eyewitness sightings, and the physical carcasses. Each of these components has a perfectly logical scientific explanation. Let's start with the mysterious animal deaths. The idea that the animals were drained of blood is the most sensational part of the story. However, this is a misunderstanding of what happens after an animal dies. When an animal's heart stops pumping, the blood settles to the lowest point in the body due to gravity. The rest of the tissues can absorb the remaining blood, making it seem like it has vanished. Furthermore, predators do not always eat their prey on the spot. A coyote or a dog might kill a chicken or a goat with a quick bite to the neck and then be scared off before it can eat. The small puncture wounds that people describe as vampire bites are consistent with the canine teeth of a dog or a coyote. Scavengers like vultures can also create small holes in a carcass to feed on the internal organs, leaving the rest of the body intact. So, the blood-drained animals are not evidence of a supernatural monster. They are the result of normal predation, scavenging, and natural decomposition processes that people are not used to seeing up close. Next, we have the eyewitness sightings. As we discussed with the first sighting in Puerto Rico, human memory is not a perfect recording device. Psychology has shown us that what we expect to see, what we fear, and what we have recently seen in movies or on TV can heavily influence our perception and memory of an event. In a dark, stressful situation, the mind can easily play tricks on you. A person might see a known animal, like a dog or a raccoon, but their fear and the power of suggestion can transform it into a monster in their mind. This is not lying. It is a normal function of how human perception works under stress. Finally, the role of the media and the internet cannot be overstated. The Chupacabra is a product of the modern media age. Sensational news reports, dramatic television shows, and viral internet stories spread the legend and keep it alive. Every time a new Chupacabra is reported, the story gets clicks and views. The media often presents the story as a genuine mystery, giving more weight to the monster theory than to the scientific explanation. This constant exposure reinforces the belief. People see the story everywhere, so they assume it must be true. The Chupacabra is a perfect example of a media-fed legend, where the story's popularity is driven more by its entertainment value than by any real evidence. The Chupacabra did not remain a mysterious creature of folklore for long. It quickly made the leap from the rural countryside to the bright lights of popular culture. The monster's unique name and terrifying reputation made it a perfect villain and a source of inspiration for books, movies, TV shows, and video games. It became a well-known member of the modern monster pantheon, standing alongside creatures like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. The Chupacabra's journey from a local news story to a global pop culture icon is a testament to its powerful and adaptable image. It was simply too cool of a monster to be ignored. In television, the Chupacabra has made numerous appearances. It has been the monster of the week in supernatural dramas like The X-Files, where agents Mulder and Scully investigated the creature. It has shown up in animated cartoons like Scooby-Doo and The Monster of Mexico, where the gang unmasks the Chupacabra to reveal a human villain, as they always do. It has also been featured in countless paranormal reality shows, where monster hunters travel to Latin America or Texas in search of the beast. These shows often treat the legend as a real phenomenon, further blurring the line between fact and fiction for many viewers. The film world has also embraced the goat sucker. Dozens of low-budget horror movies have been made with the Chupacabra as the main antagonist. These films often take great creative liberties, portraying the monster in many different ways, sometimes as a vicious alien, other times as a genetic experiment gone wrong. While most of these films are not cinematic masterpieces, they have helped to cement the Chupacabra's place in the horror genre. More recently, the creature has appeared in bigger productions, showing that its appeal has not faded over time. It is a reliable and recognizable monster that can deliver scares. Beyond TV and movies, the Chupacabra has become a popular figure on the internet and in video games. It is the subject of countless memes, jokes, and online discussions. You can buy Chupacabra t-shirts, coffee mugs, and toys. In video games, players can hunt the Chupacabra in games like Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, or fight against it as a formidable enemy in various fantasy and role-playing games. This commercialization and integration into pop culture has turned the Chupacabra from a frightening cryptid into a familiar and almost friendly part of our modern world. It has completed the journey from myth to meme. In the end, the search for the Chupacabra has never led to a real biological monster. After decades of sightings, stories, and supposed carcasses, there is not a single piece of credible evidence to suggest that an undiscovered species is attacking livestock. The evidence points overwhelmingly in one direction. The Chupacabra is a cultural phenomenon, not a biological one. It is a legend, a story we tell. The dead animals are explained by known predators and natural processes. The eyewitness sightings are explained by psychology and misidentification. The physical bodies are explained by mange-infested coyotes. The monster lives not in the fields, but in our minds. The Chupacabra's story is incredibly valuable for understanding how modern legends are born and spread. It is a case study in 21st century folklore. It shows how a local incident, amplified by mass media and the internet, can quickly become a global sensation. It demonstrates how a legend can adapt and change as it moves across different cultures, blending with local traditions and anxieties. The Chupacabra is not an ancient myth passed down through generations by word of mouth. It is a legend that we have watched grow in real time, shaped by television, websites, and social media. This legend teaches us a lot about ourselves. It shows our need for answers in the face of the unknown, our distrust of authority, and our enduring fascination with the mysterious and the monstrous. The Chupacabra is a mirror that reflects our collective fears and desires. In Puerto Rico, it reflected fears of American influence and secret experiments. In Mexico, it became a symbol of political unease. In Texas, it became a tangible physical monster that could be hunted and displayed. The story is powerful because it can mean so many different things to so many different people. The legacy of the Chupacabra, therefore, is not about a strange animal. It is about the power of a story. It is a perfect example of how folklore continues to thrive in our scientific modern world. We may have mapped the globe and explored the deepest oceans, but we still have a need for monsters lurking in the shadows. The goatsucker will likely be with us for a long time, not as a creature of flesh and blood, but as a powerful and enduring myth. It reminds us that sometimes the most interesting creatures are the ones we create ourselves, born from a potent mix of fear, imagination, and a good scary story.